Okay, let's unpack this. We're looking at the recent flash floods in Texas today. It was, well, just an immediate devastating event.
Absolutely.
And our deep dive, using the Screen News report, it's really about understanding, what happens when a disaster hits like this.
Hmm.
We want to look at the systems, the preparedness, and honestly, the human spirit you see when things get tough.
Right.
So our mission is to give you a clear picture of the human cost, the complexities around the response, and those stories of resilience that always seem to emerge.
And starting with that human cost, the scale is
Yeah.
it's really striking.
Yeah.
Officials confirmed, I think the number was at least 104 people dead across 6 Texas counties.
6 counties. Wow.
And Kerr County was hit particularly hard. The report says 84 are confirmed dead there.
84 in just one county.
Yeah. And that breaks down to 56 adults and 28 children.
Oh, that's awful.
It is. And tragically, dozens are still missing. Search efforts are still active, even now. It just shows how fast, how overwhelming these flash floods can be.
And, beyond the numbers, which are already just staggering, it's the individual stories that really, they hit hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tanya Powell's daughter, Ella, still unaccounted for.
Right.
And that last message she sent her friends, tell my parents love. Just that.
It really captures the terror and the suddenness of it all.
Exactly. And the report also mentions, and this is just gut-wrenching, dozens of kids at a summer camp.
Along the Guadalupe River.
Yeah, among those killed. Losing children like that in that setting, it's especially heartbreaking.
It really is. And then if you kind of zoom out from the immediate personal grief, you start looking at the bigger picture, the government response.
Right.
So the president declared a major disaster. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, they were activated. Federal aid was promised.
Which is crucial, of course, that immediate support.
Absolutely crucial. But it also, immediately puts a spotlight on the systems before the disaster, the warnings.
Yeah, that became a big discussion point, didn't it? The early warning systems.
It did.
Senator Ted Cruz, he acknowledged warnings went out hours before.
That's right.
But he raised that point about the timing. Most people are just asleep between 1:0 a.m. and 4:0 a.m.
It's a really practical point.
It is. It's not just about sending an alert. It's like, how do you make sure people get it and react when they're likely fast asleep? That's a huge hurdle technically and just, behaviorally.
And that leads right into the counterpoint from Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
Okay.
He's calling for an investigation, specifically looking into whether budget cuts at the National Weather Service might have played a role.
Ah, so looking at resources.
Exactly. Did cuts affect staffing, maybe radar upkeep, or even the research needed for better predictions?
So you've got these two angles. Are the current warning methods effective enough, especially at night? And are the agencies behind those warnings properly funded and equipped? It's sort of this tension between the immediate political response and the long-term nuts and bolts of disaster readiness.
That sums it up well. And amidst all this, the devastation and the scrutiny, you also see that incredible community spirit kicking in.
Yeah, the resilience, people helping people, Texans getting straight to work on cleanup, like Daniel Carlton, the disabled Army vet mentioned in the report. He lost friends.
Yeah, I remember that quote.
And he said, services revolves around my life, uniform out of uniform. That sense of duty, it sticks with you.
It really does. It speaks volumes. And then there are these acts of individual heroism, too.
Like the Coast Guard swimmer.
Scott Ruskin, yeah,
Yep.
Coast Guard rescue swimmer. He responded to Camp Mystic, that summer camp.
Yeah.
And he's credited with saving nearly 200 people. Just incredible.
200 people, wow, in his response.
I just do my job.
Mm.
Very humble.
Yeah.
And these moments, they really highlight how important those community bonds and that personal dedication are, especially right after a crisis hits, often before all the official help can get fully organized.
So wrapping this up, what's the takeaway here? We've seen the awful human cost of these Texas floods. We've looked at the tough questions about warning systems. And we've also seen that amazing resilience, that heroism that comes out in the worst times. It's like a snapshot of terrible loss, but also inspiring strength.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it kind of leaves you with a question, doesn't it? Given how fast and devastating these events like flash floods can be, what more can we actually do? What policy changes or maybe community-level plans could really help protect lives next time?
That's definitely something we're thinking about. How can we improve preparedness, communication, and harness that community power more effectively before disaster strikes?
Yeah, definitely food for thought.